guys, welcome to this week's TFL Car Top 5. And today there's one that's near and dear to my heart, Nathan. It's the top 5 automotive trends that are way past their prime. Or in other words, trends that I wish were over or should be over. So let's start with number 5 right away, which is
CVTs, continuously variable transmissions. A lot of vehicles have been using the CVT, and then recently, over the past, say, 15 years, I'd say, maybe even 10, almost every Japanese automaker has adopted the CVT for use in their smaller displacement vehicles. Well, actually, medium displacement as well. All right, so this is the Nissan Rogue, the 2017 model, and it has what's called an Xtronic transmission, or a continuously variable transmission. Now, the way this system works, it's kind of a funny irony. What they wanted was a CVT to act more like an automatic transmission. The whole thing about an automatic transmission is it shifts gears, so you can actually feel it shift gears, and you can see the RPM dipping each time it changes gears. Well, they've managed to make a CVT do basically the same thing. So it's not exactly an automatic, but it feels more like one. So right now we're cruising at about 3,000 RPM, speeding up, right? Now it drops down and it sticks at 2,000 RPM until I take my foot off the gas pedal. So it goes up and it acted as if it shifted a gear, so you feel it a little bit, but it's really not doing it. It's weird. I get it. You know, people don't like the rubber band feeling of a CVT. I am one of those people. So this kind of helps mitigate some of that feel.
Yeah, I find it ironic that the Europeans invented it and they won't touch it, right? There's no CVTs in Mercedes as far as I know, an Audi, a BMW, right?
Well, yeah.
At least here in America.
At least here in North America, yeah. I mean, a lot of people are going with the new trend of adding more gears, right?
Yeah, so that's why we think it's past their prime, because now you can get a 10-speed transmission. And basically what a CVT does is continuously variable transmission. So it's a cone, and then there's a belt that runs up and down the cone, so you have an infinite number of gears.
Right.
But with like a 10-speed, now you're getting to the point where, you know, once upon a time there were 4, 5, and 6, but now with 10, with GM and Ford, you're getting to the point where you can get the same fuel efficiency, and that's what it's about, right? That's why the Japanese love it, as you can with a CVT.
Works so much better than the old one does. It's a smoother system, and when you really put your foot down in this car, because it's not exactly powerful, you'll get the RPMs way up. Check this out. I'm gonna put my foot down, and it's gonna go, and it's gonna go, and it's gonna go, and it's gonna go. There we go, and we're finally up to the speed limit. And then RPM drops all the way down.
All right, number 4 is terrain management, and we recently had a Honda Ridgeline with it. And basically there were 4 settings. There was normal, snow, mud, and sand. 4 settings. And we take it off-road and we get to the mountains, I'm like, where's the rock setting? And there is none. So I think it's a marketing ploy.
You may be right. Here's what we know. Almost every off-road vehicle that is built for anything but a hardcore off-road enthusiast has a mode. Nowadays, they're all using the rotary switch or something like that, and you can punch in, you know, desert, you can punch in snow and whatever. And the question really is that even necessary?
So, you know, Nathan, one of my big pet peeves is I just want a button that says get me out of here. So we're in the Toyota Taco TRD Pro, and we've got all kinds of off-road things we can activate. We've got it in 4-low. We've got the rear differential lock.
Yeah, show them this.
Yeah.
This is crawl control. This is the different speeds, and you can get into different modes and tell it to crawl.
Yeah, let me show them the modes. So you can click here, and then you've got different modes you can select. There we go. So you got loose rock, you got mogul, you've got rock and dirt, you've got just plain old rock. Let's see what's over here at the end. That's mud and sand.
So what you're saying is you want a button that you can push where all of those are taken care of and you just go.
Yeah, because we've been sitting here now for what, about 5 minutes trying to activate all this stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're trying to lock the diff and everything else. You'll see this on the video that we're putting on TFL truck.
Yeah, it'll be up the cliffhanger in this truck. But yeah, you know, I just wish there was one button. I want it all. Boom, done.
I get it, but I love the fact that you can trim it in so many different ways to do so many different things. I like that.
Well, it's cheap, right? It's an algorithm that uses the car's hardware, the ABS braking, the parts that are already built into the car to basically determine wheel spin and send power to whichever wheel has the least amount of slip.
Right.
What I want, Nathan, is I want a button that says, I'm stuck, get me out of here, right? I don't want to try to figure out what the best terrain management system is. I want a button that just, it's like an Apple product, right? That's what Apple does so well. They're very simple. One home button, one button that says, I'm stuck, raise the thing up, give me the most amount of traction, lock the diff, and get me the hell out of here. Not like, well, is it sandy out there? Is it rocky? I don't know.
I get your point, but a lot of people like the choice of being able to go to the different settings.
All right, number 3, hybrids.
Yeah, this is where we really disagree, but go ahead.
So my point with hybrids is that hybrids are a halfway step between a different form of automobile propulsion, right? So it's very complicated because you have now 2 forms. Usually you have a gas engine and electric motor, right, that work in conjunction somehow to give you the highest possible MPGs. So let's say in the case of the Prius, you're getting 50 miles per gallon, but the Prius has been around a bunch of generations, and as far as I know, the last 3 Prius has gotten around 50, so they're not making as much headway as they used to, right? So the first Prius got really great gas mileage, and the next one got like a 20% increase. Now it's 10%, and I'm just done with them. I'm just like, either go to full electric or go to hydrogen, but let's knock off this thing where we've got a very heavy vehicle with 2 things that you have to maintain, and let's just go right to electric cars. Let's just go right to hydrogen cars that are powered with an electric motor. But I'm done with hybrids.
One of the things about hybrids that is still very popular is the fact that you get extended range, right?
But those are different.
There are extended range vehicles and there are
serial hybrids.
Yes, but what makes the difference is something I recently drove, which is the Prius Prime. Now, the Prius Prime has an over 600-mile range. That is diesel territory. That is really, really good. And it's still a hybrid. It's a plug-in hybrid, sure. So yeah, the strides haven't been made in certain ways. You're right about mileage. Hasn't really been that impressive since, say, 10 years ago. But you still can now get the range. And also, hybrid technology has been around for a while, so they really have refined it and made it into something very usable.
So, first of all, I mean, there's that information screen at the top of the dash that shows the battery level.
I'm going to accelerate.
And we were at 92%, and now we went up to 93%. So we're actually gained a little bit under braking.
Which happens a lot. With regular electric cars, that tends to be the case as well. You might start out at 70%, and then as you're driving through traffic, it'll bump up a little bit before it starts going down. And that's, once again, batteries are getting warmed up. That's allowing the regenerative braking to put a little extra juice in there. Those types of things actually helps. And plus, they have to kind of recalibrate and recalculate how much power you've used.
Number 2. What would you call these?
Well, this is the customizables drive settings. Now, this has been around for a little while, but it's really gotten ridiculous recently with certain cars.
Yeah, the Infiniti we just tested had 336 different permutations that you could change based on the suspension, based on the steering, based on the throttle response. I mean, it's just a little crazy at some point. Really, you really need 336 ways to customize your car.
Especially if it's a car that's not a full-blown sports car, like let's say a GTR or something like that. I mean, even then, that's a little much. Okay, there are a lot of other companies out there where you can have 4 different settings on your steering wheel alone, where you want, sport, it's a little harder to turn, and then luxury, it's easier to turn or whatever. We get that, but why not have 3 or 4 settings that you just hit and then you're good to go, instead of saying, wait a minute, we're about to leave, but before we leave, let's choose 5 different, 7 different, 330 different, after a while, come on guys. So it's a little much with all of these pre-programmable ridiculous things, whereas then just a couple little packages would probably do.
And Infiniti does have those, right? So I think it has like 5 of them. There's like default, there's Sport Plus, but still, it's a little over the top. All right, number 1, diesels, dude. I think diesels are dead.
No, we're not referring to trucks at all. No, this is just car.
Yep.
Okay,
especially in America.
Especially in North America. Whoa. Here's the bottom line. Volkswagen may have given the death nail to the automotive industry when it comes to diesels. With the amount of distress that's been sown and the amount of things that have gone wrong with this whole damn thing, A lot of people forget about how efficient and how good diesels truly are.
You said it weighs about 1,100 pounds?
Yes, 1,100 pounds.
It's 600
Basically, from here up, everything else down there weighs more.
Yeah. Oh, okay, okay.
6 horsepower.
Torque?
60 foot-pounds at 500 RPM. But the way this engine is designed and governed, as you lug her down, she's going to fight you the whole way. So torque is actually going to start increasing, because basically the slower it goes, the more it's going to open up the fuel system and the harder it's going to hit.
So what's the volume? What's the working...
The displacement? It's 140 cubic inches, about 2.25 liter.
Okay.
It's about 1/3 of the size of the engine that's in the Dodge Ram, but we've only got 1 cylinder.
Now, that's not to say that other automakers have completely pulled out of building cars with diesels. And BMW still builds diesels as far as we know?
Mercedes builds diesels, but I think you're right, Nathan. I think that people don't trust the technology anymore. Let's face it, even Volkswagen has gone full electric now, right?
Sorry, we're done.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is this. It's a shame because they really have made them so good. But at the same time, the public opinion, if they're not going to buy it, the automakers aren't going to build it.
You know what? I love diesels in trucks.
Yeah.
Because all that torque is just exactly what you need. It's what the doctor ordered. But even in the sportiest of diesels in a car, there's always that point where the torque just falls off a cliff, right? It's a torque, nothing. Torque, nothing. You know?
Yeah. One of these days, hopefully they'll combine that with a hybrid in the United States, and we'll actually have something that'll really tick you off twice, too. Because it's 2 things you want, to be done with.
All right, the bonus. We always like to do a bonus.
Yeah, this one's a funny one.
All right, go for it.
The bonus is no more Shelby knockoffs.
Enough. We've had it with Shelby knockoffs.
You got to understand, this goes back with us about 4 years. We went to a place in Los Angeles where they build knockoffs, and they are officially sanctioned, and many of them were signed by Shelby himself, supposedly. So the bottom line is this. Maybe we could find other vehicles to start cloning. Just why not? Find something new that nobody's cloned before that's really cool. Maybe an AMX from AMC. I don't know, something like that.
Dude, I think it's going to be like more rare to find a Shelby that hasn't been signed by a Shelby than the one that has been signed. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really out there. And it's just, by the way, we encourage you guys to respond and also come up with your own parts of this list, including the bonus, down below. Please, write it.
I'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know what car people should be knocking off that would surpass the Cobra as the official most knocked off car ever.
Or automotive trends that should be gone, or perhaps maybe should come back.
Well, thanks for watching, and as always, check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and of course, real-world reviews. And you know what? Let's take them right to the Infinity video. If they click over here.
Yeah, the Infinity video
might
is
cover up your
right
head a little bit, but it'll be right there. And then if you want to subscribe, just do it over here.
Down there. See you guys.
Ciao.